What's up, guys? Alex here. I don't really want to make this into a political channel. From time to time, I will bring up a topic that I want to talk about because I do think that if you live, talk, and think politics 24/7, you're either mentally ill or you need help or something. Like you just need to get a hobby or something. That's just my thoughts. Like it's just going to lead you down to a negative spiral. If every day you're just going to think about Israel and the Jews, you got serious problems. Anyway, in this video, however, I just want to go over, well, it's going to be a ranty video, but I think people are really going to align with this video as well. I'm just sick of Trump. I'm honestly tired of Trump. So in 2016, I did not vote for Trump. I didn't vote at all. In 2020, I did, on the premise that, well, it couldn't get any worse, and to be honest, I believe Joe Biden is a PDF. So that is why it was a throwaway vote. In 2024, I was like, we definitely cannot have Biden again. Who is running the country? Trump was easily, in my opinion, and I think most people, not surprised he won the popular vote, especially after what happened in Pennsylvania with the, people, were like, you know what, I don't like Trump, but what do we got to lose? That's pretty much, I think, where most Americans were at. If you're not like a diehard MAGA person, I am in that camp. I was of the point where it's like, Trump is definitely not God Emperor, but it's better than what we have. So fuck it. Boy, was I wrong. So, well, I wasn't totally wrong because I still believe that Trump would have been better than Biden. He would have been better than Kamala. I mean, if Kamala was president right now, guys, I believe the economy probably would have gotten worse and all of our tax dollars would have been going to Israel and Palestine. It would have been a big problem. Anyway, that being said, there is no excuse at this point to defend Donald Trump. There's just none. First and foremost, the Epstein files. Now, the first thing people are going to say defending this man is they're going to say, Alex, the Epstein files is a Democrat hoax. It's a Democrat thing to make Trump look bad. No, that is cope and that is bullshit. The Epstein files have been talked about with Trump for years. They've been asking Trump to release the Epstein files for many years. They had that big conference with Pam Bondi and all the influencers to give them the folders and to release these fake, quote unquote, documents about Epstein. And they, then they were like, oh, we have more, we'll show it at some point. We can't because it's too it's because it involves the law or something. I saw all the coping excuses. To defend Donald Trump at this point over the Epstein files is an absolute joke. It's just embarrassing. I don't think he's in the files. However, I will say that I believe he's protecting either a country or other people that are in those files, and yes, that is corrupt. It's really disgusting what's happening. Even you see people on the right that are, even saying, "What's up, Donald? Like, what the fuck is going on here with this stuff? Like, you promised us this, and now all of a sudden nothing's happening." So I think people, and I said this to people in my private life. I said, "Listen, if Trump does not follow his promises, you are going to see people flip on Trump very early, very soon, and he will deserve it." And that's happening. So the next point I will bring up is the fact that the economy is still dog shit, and it is not going back to anything good. There is no golden age. I don't care what he says. Nothing is going down in prices. How do I know? Because I track all of my bills daily. I track all of my bills in a spreadsheet like a video game nerd every month. I monitor everything. And in my part of the country, nothing is changing. In fact, prices are going up. So he's a liar and he's full of shit. And the economy is not doing well. So if you voted for Trump based on the economy, you probably feel like you got scammed. and I'm with you on there. It's like one minor point. It was mostly a throwaway vote for me, but for the most part, I would say that Trump is a fraud when it comes to a lot of these promises. The next thing that he promised was that he would end the wars. This is also bullshit, and not only is it bullshit, he hasn't ended anything. His talking points are always like, oh, the Copers will say, oh, Alex, Trump is just doing this because he's negotiating. Oh, really? It's been about 10 months now, guys. We're still not seeing any progress, and actually we're seeing worse. We're seeing regression. We're not even seeing progression. That cope doesn't work anymore. Trump is continuing to, nothing's happening. And even if you see his language, he's now saying, instead of a peacemaker, he's more of like a neutral person. It's really obvious what's going on here, guys. He can't do anything. He's stuck. And that promise has failed as well. So now we're on 3 huge failed promises that are just really not good. Another failed promise that he's going into is draining the swamp. So he did this in 2016, if you guys remember. In 2016, he promised to drain the swamp. He promised to, kick out all of these people. He still really hasn't. I mean, sure, he has indicted James Comey, but guys, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it looks like pettiness. Yes, James Comey should probably face some jail time for lying to Congress and perjury or whatever he was doing, from what I gathered, but there's bigger fish to fry than James Comey. Guys, that's just like a little fish food to keep you happy. I mean, there's really not much going on there. There's just not much. So draining the swamp also has not happened. Another big criticism of his is in 2016, he hired people for he hired people, very bad people. It was one of his main criticisms, myself included. He just hired people who were terrible. I mean, John Bolton. This is one example of many, and now they're arresting John Bolton. Oh, well, if they haven't already, I mean, I know they investigated him, or they have in the news, but I know that they're probably going to arrest him next. Because he had like documents of like weapons of mass destruction or some shit. Anyway, the funny part is that even today, he has still hired people. Now, I think the coke train is over. There's a lot of people that he has hired that still makes no sense. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like some of the hires I was okay with, but Pam Bondi for Attorney General who worked for Jeb Bush? Pete Hegseth, the TV host? The transportation guy that's also married to a Fox News host? J.D. Vance, who I'm not really sold on, fellas. Trump is worse than Hitler. Trump is America's Hitler? Marco Rubio, who was a rhino for years? Now all of a sudden they're cheering these people. I mean, this is why, guys, like, I'm not really right or left. I consider myself independent or moderate because, I mean, these guys are going to fall on their faces soon with regards to regretting, cheering on these guys. I just find it interesting how everybody's like, you're cheering on this Marco Rubio guy who has been a rhino for years. I mean, Trump overall, guys, not doing good. There's just so many failures. I mean, those are my big points. Everyone's going to also have more, for example, giving money to other countries instead of helping Americans. He doesn't give a shit about Americans. I mean, from what I've gathered about Trump for the most part, I do think he does a lot of things to promote himself in the news. He does a lot of these things to make himself look better in the papers. Most people will agree with that. And it's just interesting how, instead of helping Americans when we need it the most, he's giving our money to other countries like Israel, the one in South America, Argentina, I believe, and also, in a way, giving money, again, to Ukraine and continuing that stuff, even though we all didn't want that. Also, isn't it interesting, guys? Haven't you noticed that ever since Trump has gotten in office, people have not given a shit about Ukraine anymore? Because Trump gives a shit about Ukraine. He flip-flopped. Again. So, those are just my thoughts. Overall, I do regret my Trump vote. If I had to go back, I would have never voted at all. I think he's a fraud, and I think it's only going to get worse. It's only been 10 months, and I think people are going to have buyer's remorse severely if you don't already. I mean, I really don't really concede, even if you do like Trump and you're one of those crazy MAGA people, even then, I mean, I find it hard to believe that you'd give him an A on a report card. Maybe a C at best if you're an obsessive fanboy, but he really should be getting an F. There's just no excuse for anything he's been doing so far, and he's a complete failure, and that's from somebody who has voted for him. But I don't have TDS. I'm hoping that life improves and everything goes better, but it won't. It just won't. So just focus on yourself and do what you can and hope for the best. Anyway, peace out.